Obama's America by Carl G. Pedersen. Welcome to Bookshare Audio, where reflections become revelations and ideas uncover the deeper truths of our shared world. In this exploration of Obama's America, we are invited to look beyond the man himself and into the intricate fabric of identity, change, and national transformation that his story represents. The book is not simply a portrait of a presidency, but a mirror held to the evolving spirit of America, its hopes, divisions, contradictions, and dreams. It asks us to see how history, politics, and culture intertwine in shaping a nation that forever wrestles between what it is and what it strives to become. At its heart, this work is an analysis of a changing American identity. The author shows how Obama's rise symbolized a nation moving from an era defined by race, ideology, and isolation toward a future of inclusion, plurality, and global consciousness. The America that gave birth to Obama was one in transition, a place where demographic tides were shifting, where minority groups were emerging as new centers of political and cultural influence, and where the idea of what it means to be American could no longer be confined to any single race, creed, or heritage. The narrative begins by positioning the 2008 election not merely as a political event, but as a historical turning point, a culmination of long struggles and a rebirth of civic faith. The author interprets Obama's victory as a collective yearning for renewal, echoing earlier moments in American history when change arrived through crisis and courage. Yet he emphasizes that this transformation was not without resistance. The idea of a post-racial America was met with skepticism and fear, especially from those clinging to older definitions of nationhood. What emerged was a deep cultural contest between nostalgia for an imagined past and the embrace of a diverse, interconnected future. The book examines two opposing visions of America. One clings to a mythic heritage of moral simplicity, rural, white, Christian, and conservative, while the other is cosmopolitan, multi-ethnic, and globally engaged. The tension between these visions defines the 21st century's American narrative. The former sees unity in uniformity. The latter finds strength in multiplicity. Through this lens, Obama's journey embodies a nation reimagining itself, a citizen of both Kansas and Kenya, shaped by Hawaii and Indonesia, comfortable in the heartland, yet fluent in the languages of the world. His life becomes an allegory of the United States' evolving identity, rooted yet dynamic, singular yet plural. The author dissects how Obama's campaign transcended conventional politics by mobilizing grassroots energy and digital networks. He views this as the reawakening of civic agency, a movement echoing the reformist spirit of earlier American progressives. It was a reminder that democracy flourishes not through cynicism, but through participation. This dynamic, the book argues, reshaped the relationship between citizens and the state, turning passive spectators into active agents of history. At the same time, the book scrutinizes the forces of backlash, the attempts to question Obama's legitimacy through fear, misinformation, and racialized narratives. These tactics revealed more about America's insecurities than about the man himself. In them, we see how identity politics can divide a nation, how the struggle over who belongs and who doesn't can distort democracy's promise. The author interprets these conflicts as evidence of an America caught between its highest ideals and its unresolved past. Religion, too, becomes a symbol of this struggle. Obama's spiritual journey from secular upbringing to Christian faith is portrayed not as conversion, but as reconciliation. It reflects the American attempt to balance reason and belief, individualism, and community. In this tension, the book finds a microcosm of the national soul, a people seeking meaning beyond ideology, yearning for moral coherence in a fragmented age. Beyond domestic issues, the author turns to the global stage, framing Obama's worldview as a form of rooted cosmopolitanism. This phrase captures the essence of belonging without borders, loyalty to one's nation balanced by responsibility to humanity. In this way, the book redefines patriotism as not the exclusion of others, but the willingness to build bridges across difference. America's strength, it argues, lies not in dominance, but in moral imagination, the capacity to see unity where others see division, and possibility where others see threat. Economic crisis, foreign policy, and the search for moral direction all intersect in this vision. The book portrays Obama's early presidency as a delicate balancing act, reviving a faltering economy while preserving social justice, confronting global terrorism while rejecting imperial arrogance, and healing domestic wounds without erasing uncomfortable truths. The author draws parallels between this moment and previous inflection points in U.S. history, the Progressive Era, the New Deal, the Civil Rights Movement, to illustrate that each generation faces its own reckoning between fear and hope. Perhaps the most profound insight the book offers is its meditation on history itself. It reminds us that history is not a distant archive, but a living presence that shapes how we think, act, and dream. Each era reinterprets the past to guide its future. Obama's rhetoric of hope, then, is not naive optimism, but a political philosophy grounded in historical awareness, a belief that the moral arc of history bends toward justice only when people choose to bend it. Throughout its pages, Obama's America resists simple hero worship. It does not deify its subject, but instead studies the social forces that made his rise possible. It portrays the election of 2008 as both culmination and beginning, the outcome of centuries of struggle and the dawn of a new experiment in democracy. It is an invitation to see America not as a fixed nation-state, but as an unfinished project, one defined by reinvention and perpetual motion. In its conclusion, the author reflects on the meaning of this transformation. Obama's story, he argues, is less about personal destiny and more about collective becoming. It embodies the idea that America's identity is still being written in classrooms and city streets, in protests and debates, in the quiet courage of those who believe that inclusion and equality are not ideals, but imperatives. The real Obama's America is not a political slogan. It is a living dialogue between past and future, a nation in the process of becoming more self-aware, more diverse, and more humane. In the end, Obama's America is less about one man's presidency and more about the evolving conscience of a people. It asks us to look inward, to question how fear and faith, division and unity, memory and vision shape our common destiny. It challenges us to recognize that progress is neither guaranteed nor complete, but always a choice renewed in every generation. If we listen closely, the message is timeless. History bends toward justice only when we act with empathy, courage, and imagination. Like this reflection and want more deep insights into books that reshape our understanding of life and society, subscribe to Bookshare Audio on YouTube and share your thoughts or request the next book you'd love to hear in the comments below. Thank you.